Yo, we all love Deadlock, right? Right? I could passionately ride this game for hours, but let's be honest, even though we love Deadlock, there's a few characters in this game that piss us off. However, there is a beautiful thing about Deadlock that I need to mention, and that is, pretty much every character in this game can be annoying rats if played by the right person. One character you might hate with all your might, your buddy doesn't really have any issues with. But your buddy can absolutely despise a character that you entirely tolerate. Let me give you some examples. I know some people who do not like Kelvin because he can become an unkillable demon. Sometimes I don't even like Wraith because if she gets ahead enough on souls, she becomes a nuclear bomb. Other times I dislike Dynamo because even though the Dynamo's going 0-19, he can pretty much win his team the game by pressing the right buttons at the right time. Then sometimes I don't like Mo and Lester because he touches me without my consent. But you get it, right? Every character in this game has the potential of being annoying. However, there is one particular Tesco fondler that stands at the pinnacle of annoying characters, and that's the Doorman.
I fear no man, but that thing, it scares me.
I absolutely despise the Doorman with every fiber of my being, so much so that it's gotten to a point where I am genuinely convinced every person who frequently plays this character has a mural in their room dedicated to P. Diddy and or Jeffrey Epstein. I know saying something like that can potentially be out of pocket, but trust me, it isn't. If you've been a victim of this pervert before, you know exactly where I'm coming from. And the Doorman is the most annoying character in this game because of how most people play this character. Sure, you can make his gun do some damage and you can also make his bell hit like a truck, but a vast majority of perverts who play this character on a daily basis don't do any of that because their entire playstyle revolves around cosplaying as their spirit animal, Jeffrey Epstein. But what do I mean by that? I'm glad you asked. Let me break it down for you. Sorry about that. Anyways, these Doorman players will try to lure you in, and once you get close enough, they'll throw a card at you, stunning you. When you're barreling towards a wall, they'll open a door behind you, and then you get sent to either a guardian, a walker, or sometimes even their spawn. Then the Doorman follows you inside, closes the door behind them, and then you're never seen from again. And now tell me, Mr. Smarty Pants, what does that sound like again? That's quite literally the textbook definition of human trafficking. Even if you become wary of this white van strat, he'll adapt his gameplay to do something more sinister. What exactly is that? Well, he'll start sitting in the corners, waiting for someone to walk by, and whoever walks by will get kidnapped by either the Doorman's ult or by the white van combo. And as soon as you escape the Doorman's ult, there's a 90% chance you just get gangbanged by his entire team. But on the off chance that doesn't happen, as soon as you escape the Doorman's ult, he'll just send you to one of his walkers where you'll just get curb stomped to death. Even if you adapt, that's not a guarantee your teammates won't fall victim to him, and the only thing scarier than being kidnapped yourself is watching it happen to one of your other teammates, especially if it happens right in front of you. This perverted playstyle is beyond evil, and quite frankly, anyone who plays like this is a certified pervert. I hate to jump to conclusions, but it's almost like these players want to know what it feels like to be a predator, and playing the Doorman is the closest they'll ever get to experiencing that. Well, hopefully it's the closest. I mean, just look at this dude's shit-eating grin and genuinely try to convince me that this dude doesn't look like a plunderer of prison wallets. You just can't. But wait, here's the cherry on top. If the Doorman player is a special kind of freak, he will pull out a strat straight from the Jeffrey Epstein playbook by using cheat death, and right when you think this rat is dead, he'll just nonchalantly walk through one of his lubricated doors and close it behind him. In addition to that bullshit, even if you and your team adapt to his kidnappings, he can just sit at one of his objectives, and when people get close enough, he'll just use the vortex web item to suck everyone into one area, or then he'll use his cart and then push you into his spawn. I think this ability might have been nerfed a bit recently, but to be honest, it's still an effective and annoying item to deal with, especially in the hands of an experienced predator. So we've established just how annoying the human trafficking playstyle is, but something else that irritates the shit out of me is the fact that the Doorman can consistently and single-handedly extend the match to be much longer than it has any right to be. In my last 2 games that I went up against the Doorman, even though my team had the advantage for most of the match, experienced Doorman players single-handedly extended the game to almost an hour simply because of their mastery of the perverted arts. In one of my games, a Doorman player was responsible for extending the game because he was able to steal the rejuvenators from us by using the vortex web and cart into a door combo. And he didn't do this once, he did it twice. And now you can easily say that this is just a mere skill issue and that this thing only really happens in piss low lobbies, but you're wrong. I've seen this exact thing happen in not only Eternus lobbies, but I've seen this happen in professional matches with players who play this fucking game for a living. Then in my most recent match, my team and I were good enough for this not to happen, but that didn't matter because the Doorman still extended the match by simply being an insanely effective pervert. He would use Vortex Web to get everyone bunched up whenever we detect one of his objectives, and then he'd send anyone unlucky enough that got hit by that web straight to his spawn, where the Doorman and his team would reenact the famous freak-offs that the infamous P. Diddy once hosted. But on the off chance that no one got hit by the trafficking combo, we would all focus the Doorman, and right when we thought this pervert was going to die, his cheat death would activate, which would essentially bail him out. Then he would just be free to walk into one of his doors and close it behind him. And again, there was nothing we could do about that. Anyways, yeah, that's why Doorman is easily the most annoying character in Deadlock. If I couldn't convince you, then you yourself might be a pervert. However, as annoying as the perverted playstyle is from the Doorman, just like almost everything in this game, it can be countered. The best way to counter this pervert is by using the same technique you'd use against a pervert in real life, by keeping your distance. But if the Doorman does get within kissing distance, you do have some options. First off, if you get ulted by the Doorman, scream into your mic that there's a pervert trying to touch you, and hopefully you have some heroes on your team. If not, buy either Ethereal Shift or Counterspell. You can use these items to negate the damage you receive after getting ulted, but they're also good items to use to prevent yourself from getting ulted or stunned by any of his other abilities. Also, a new item came out recently called Indomitable, which is a great counter for everything the Doorman has. Anyways, before I let y'all go, I hope I didn't offend any Doorman mains out there. The Doorman does require quite a bit of skill, unlike some other characters out there, and I hope nobody perceived this video as me saying the Doorman is a no-skill character, because he does require skill. I just do not like the playstyle that a lot of people use when they play this character. I just have one request. If you're playing the Doorman, please be on my team, and if you're not, direct that perverted energy elsewhere. And if you don't, I'm probably going to cry. If you've watched this video until the end, I just want to say that I love you. Remember to stay hydrated and to stay swaggy. See ya.